Hi friends, I'm so sorry. We are having an internet connection problem here in San Antonio, Texas. And it's very, very windy, so we just got cut off, and I sure hope it's not going to happen again. You can see that as I'm moving, we're having a little challenge. So we're going to try to keep going. So I have to start all over again. So Michelle Ladd with National Veteran Resources, and today I'm with my dear friend Sabina. And Sabina and I met when I met David Wood with Mission 22, and she reached out to me and shared a little bit about her story. And I asked her if I'm ever in San Antonio, if I could come and interview her, if she'd be willing to share her story. And I'm actually staying at her house. She's so kind and gracious. And when she shared her story with me, I just was thrilled to be able to come and stay and experience what you're experiencing. And I should tell you that, well, she's a wonderful lady, but Sabina is, here we go again. Sabina is a widow, and her husband, Clay, died by suicide. And I'm here to support her today. She has a message that she would like to share with so many, and I know that she can make a difference. So I asked her to start telling us a little bit about Clay. So please start by telling us about Clay. And by the way, he's very handsome.
Thank you. So, I don't know if you can see this. Is this good?
There's a little bit of glare. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, right there.
This is Clay, about 2 years before. And he just returned from his second tour in Iraq, and we were just goofing around, having a good time, and I shot that picture of him. So that was a happy time. He just returned and was glad to be back. I don't know where I should start. He was a medic in the U.S. Army, 20-year veteran, served proudly, and he said it was the best thing he's ever done in his life. Provided him with everything that we now have, and he loved traveling with the Army. He loved helping others, and his mission in Iraq was always to provide a better picture of the U.S. over there. So he met with elderly, and he met with the children, and he always asked me to send him sweets so he could pass it out to the kids while he was there. So, yeah, we moved out. He needed to get away. Life in the city was too busy for him. He was looking for a way to just be able to breathe, because it got a little tense after he left the Army and he retired. It took about less than a year and a half when I noticed a difference in him, and the worst was, trying to figuring out how much he was drinking. And when I wasn't able to help him anymore, I asked him to go seek help elsewhere, and he found a therapist that worked with him, and it was kind of difficult because I thought they would help him, and instead the meds were introduced because he couldn't sleep at night. He had nightmares, so it was Ambien for sleep and Xanax for the anxiety, and I think that's when a nightmare began. So needless to say, I felt really guilty because I asked him to go and seek help. I thought things would improve had he had a place to talk with somebody, because he didn't want to share with me. He said that wasn't for my ears or my mind. He didn't want to leave me with those messages and everything he experienced. And I wish I would have known more about what resources were out there at the time, because we were retired and kind of cut off from the military resources that you have when you're active duty. It's different when you're retired. You're out and it's over. So unless you hang out with the same people, or went back and worked as a veteran employee, which he really loved to do, he was missing that challenge of training others, and he loved being a medic. And yeah, it was difficult because I didn't know who he was anymore.
When you say you felt guilty that you asked him to seek help, that's been our message all along, is to seek help. And so do you feel that because they put him on medication, that was what's making you feel guilty?
When I talk to other widows, we have the same story.
Mm-hmm.
So it begins with alcohol, a lot of alcohol, and sometimes you don't even know how much because they're good at hiding it. It's part of life. You don't even realize how much they're drinking. And so by the time you notice what's going on, it's almost too late. And he really tried, because he came home and he said he wanted to do better. I deserve better. He wanted to show that he was a good husband. And he joined AA.
Mm.
But once he stopped drinking, all the issues came up. And it was difficult for him to deal with what was coming up.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe when the medication came in, it just did a number on him, plus the alcohol. And he tried to stay away from it. He was I think, just from my feeling, because I really can't tell, but I would say at least 2 months he tried really hard to stay away from the alcohol. And he was just doing what he needed to do, and he functioned, but it became more and more difficult for him. So when he went back, because he was out of the Xanax and he couldn't cope anymore, he came back that night and had 3 different medications, and that's when it really went downhill really fast.
From the time he started on that medication, how long was it before he just couldn't take it anymore?
Well, he started treatment at the end of, it was almost February, so the end of January, and he died in May, on May 16th, 2013. So I would say about 4 or 5 months. It was really quick. And you could tell the difference in his demeanor, the way he expressed himself, paranoia, the way he treated me. See, that's another thing. We widows of suicide, we experience kind of like we're like bad at women because of what we experience with them, and the verbal, the emotional abuse. And then a lot of us get separated or divorced before the suicide. So we're dealing with a lot of guilt afterwards because, you know, we always worry about what could I have said different? What could I have done different? Maybe that would have changed the outcome, you know. But of course, you only see that hindsight. You don't see it in the moment.
So 6 years ago, you shared, I have to make sure we're still on here. Yep, our connection's good. I know your heart, and I know you're a giver, and I know that she's been involved in so many organizations, and I know that she has helped so many men and women out there in many different ventures, many different organizations. I've seen and heard so many things since I've been with you the last few days, and one of the things that struck me the most is that the help that you need afterwards, sometimes it seems like that help wasn't there for you. And I just wanted you to talk a little bit about that. Like, what is it like? It's been 6 years, and is everybody still there for you?
Well, you know, it's different because once the funeral is over and it's done, right? For people, they move on, and rightly so. I mean, I get it, but that's when the night begins for us, because the house is quiet. We have to deal with the aftermath. There's a lot of ripple effects that happen after, and it affects about 12 people in a circle of suicide. So, you know, we all are in danger. I myself was a victim of that because I wasn't able to cope with it anymore, and like like I told you, it's not easy for me to talk about, but I want to share that because I think when we talk about it and we acknowledge what it is and what it does to people, we can get help. It'll help so many people to tell our story and be open about it. There's no shame in it, you know. It's nothing you can control, and they were just desperate. They were tired of fighting that fight, and they thought that was the answer. So when it happened to me, I lost a week of my life. I don't know what happened. I blacked out. I remember talking to my mom, and I woke up in Laurel Ridge here in San Antonio. Didn't know what happened. I gathered all the information from friends of mine who were there to get me through this and find me. It was a miraculous day because it hasn't happened since, and it hasn't happened. You know, it was just amazing how it all came together. And obviously, I didn't want to go on anymore because I was carrying a heavy load. Because he was retired, and even though he had life insurance, he thought, you know, he was better dead than alive, because he always said, "You're gonna be better off with me dead," and which didn't come through because suicide has a clause in life insurance. So
I wanted to comment on that. Today I was telling the other gentleman that we were talking a little bit about suicide, and he said, well, the wife should be protected. And I said, no, because as far as I know, in most insurance policy, there is a suicide clause. And you actually told me he was 2 weeks short. And so financially, that had to be such a burden on you. And that really touched me. That's something that's marked that I will never forget that you said to me. I was very surprised by that.
And it was, I mean, I didn't know either, because that was the first thing, because at the time I was finishing my bachelor's degree. All the income was gone, because the first thing the officer said to me when we talked about burials and what else paperwork I needed to fill out was, don't touch anything that came into the bank, because he died mid-May, so in the middle of the month, and they took everything back and had to figure out if I was able to receive benefits and what kind of benefits. So that process took about 4 months. And luckily he signed up for SGLI. That provides me with a monthly stipend now, which helped me survive the last 6 years. I went back, got my master's while I was doing that, and I wanted to help others in the same situation that I found myself in, because I didn't really see a lot of grief counselors that could help me in my situation, and it's a sensible subject still. And I thought I wanted to be that person, so that's why I sought that degree. And you know, as you know, I'm involved with Mission 22 as a representative. We share news about newest treatment, how veterans can get into the program and receive those benefits. It's all individualized. Then I'm with TAPS, who I'm a mentor for other widows of suicide for, and I think it helps for them to know I know what I'm talking about. So when we talk, you know, we share the same story, and that connects us.
That's TAPS?
That's TAPS, Tragedy Assistance Program for Survivors.
TAPS. Okay. Are there other programs out there that, I think we have a lot of widows watching. If they're not watching, you're all going to be sharing this, right? And are there other programs out there, if this has just happened to a wife, that you could suggest where they should start, where they could get some help?
Well, a lot of times, if they're still active, everything's taken care of. They have someone that walks them through the whole process. They put them in the right direction. They let them know what to do. And there's some things that we still have to lobby for, because not everybody receives equal pay benefits. and that is something we're still fighting for, because there's some older widows that have never received those benefits. They weren't even aware what they were entitled to get. So we do a lot of lobbying, and I have to, give a shout out to all the people that have fought the fight for us and for everybody that's coming after us. Because that's something you're not really aware of. You don't even think about. So the ones with children have a difficult time, because we're not aware. Who can think of what to do? How can you make that decision after a day or two after a tragedy like that, right? And you ask to sign a paper, and that's gonna set it up for the rest of your life. Sometimes you don't even know. I don't remember. My son was with me when all that happened, and he was my sounding board because I remember nothing. And he took down notes. And I know of others who thought they were taken care of. They trusted other people, and it turned out to be detrimental later. And I know a lot of them that have, little kids. It's difficult for them as well.
So 6 years later, it doesn't get any easier.
No.
And I'm looking at your beautiful home. As a woman, I would have challenges of plumbing and the yard work and all the things that need to get done in a household. And I'm very proud of you for all that you have accomplished. I walked in here and I was just like, holy cow.
Yeah.
I girl power, let me tell you. You're doing very, very well. But it's going to get to the point where you're going to need help with different things. Do you have anybody that can help you with, maintenance things and lawn care?
That's another thing, right? We always say, everybody says, call me if you need anything. Well, then you're needing something and you don't know who to call. I fixed my toilet.
I know. I was proud of you.
I put the new thing in. One is still not working. The lawnmower is down. I need to get that fixed. I can't mow my yard. So if anybody's out there and you say, hey, what could I do for those women? Give them that service. I would love to not have to mow the yard for a month. That would be awesome. Because I have a lot of yard to do. And it's little things. I've learned a lot. I put up my towel rack in the bathroom that fell off. So it's still on there. So I'm proud of that. I'm learning. But sometimes, you could use that extra hand. And that would be nice.
So please forgive me, but I'm going to put a shout out there. We're not saying where she lives. I'm not telling you where she's located. But in the San Antonio area, if there's any guys out there, I've got lots of friends out there. If you have any skills at all, contact me. And if we could use your help, I will let you know. And I just know that I would just like to have a list of people that, if I needed a little bit of help with something. Look at my RV. I'm always putting things out there. Today I did a video on just the bar on the slide out thing. And it's nice to know that you have some people that you can really trust and count on.
You're alone, so you don't just trust anybody.
You don't trust,
over, right?
No, not at all.
I'm very careful.
That's why I said you guys can instant message me, and I could see, if it might be something that she could use, and we will be doing vetting and things like that. We wouldn't just send somebody over, but that goes for all the widows out there, you guys, around the country. Help the widows. They have to take care of their homes. They have things that they need to do. They have, a lot of them have children. And it's not just the widows, it's the family members. I've seen so many groups with the moms and, the
Yes.
parents and the children. And so I honor you and respect you, and I have learned so much from you. You've inspired me to keep doing what I'm doing because I hadn't really experienced meeting somebody like you and what you've gone through, and it's touched me. And I think you're doing a great job. I just want you to know that.
Thank you.
Is there anything that you want to share with, especially the widows out there?
Well, I just want you all to know that you're not alone. And if you have a guy out there that's struggling, reach out. We're here for you and we want to help. I know it's difficult sometimes to just ask for help and you don't know where to turn, but we're out here for you because we all been there and we understand. We don't judge, we just want to help. So there's things out there that we can connect you to, and you can find the help that he needs or she needs, because it's not just men. You know, there's widowers out there now. And so whoever is out there struggling or feels like their marriage isn't what it used to be, or they're with a partner, you don't even have to be married. Anybody really that is struggling with their veteran, yeah, contact us. We hook you up with the right resources, and we're trying to get you help. There's a lot of people out there that want to do good, and they're waiting for you to come in. So you're not alone. Please reach out. It doesn't make you any less of a man. Actually, it's asking a lot to reach out and ask for help. So I think that makes you a stronger man.
I agree with that. And our message is for active duty veterans, first responders, also our EMTs, our healthcare providers.
Yes.
There's more and more every single day. So we are just trying to reach out and share this consistent message, get help.
Yes.
And I think you're the strongest woman I've ever met.
Thank you.
And I want to thank you for spending this time. Can I show them this picture? I love this picture of you guys.
We had a good time that day too.
This was another great day.
That was the last time we were stationed in Germany, and we want to capture the moment because it was a good time. We did a lot of traveling.
Clay and Sabina. So just know that there's a lot of support out there for you, men and women. Let me ask you one more thing. For the widows, is there one particular forum, if they need to talk, that you would suggest immediately? Was there a place that you might have gone immediately?
You know, at the time, I didn't know. Again, we were retired almost 2 years. I found everything later and through other widows. You know one, you know many. And we connect on Facebook. There's lots of widow pages out there. There's help for military spouses, because our situation is different than, first responders, obviously. Benefits, everything is different. But there is a lot of resources out there, and if you need anything, please let Michelle know, and Michelle's going to let me know, and we're going to try and get you help. I'm telling you, Mission 22 is out there. We have Warriors Heart out here in Bandera. It's a great organization. There's so many people locally that are here to help. I know a lot of I have a lot of connections here in San Antonio, and there's so many people that just, hey, let me know how we can help, and we'll find you a resource and we'll get you help. Please.
Please get help.
Because, you may be gone, but that family and everybody else in that family, your friends, are going to miss you, and are going to be in a lot of trouble afterwards, let me tell you. This is not easy.
Take a moment and tell them that. If you're considering suicide, it's everybody around you
is going to go down the hole that you have gone down. And they're going to feel the guilt. Because we always, I speak for myself. I still sometimes think about the things that I could have done, should have said, could have done differently to maybe have a different outcome. And if it's just that you need somebody to talk to, because most of the time, you just need to talk about whatever is bothering you. And I get that so much when I'm out there in the communities and I talk to the veterans, the female veterans. Yeah, there's so much pain out there. So trust somebody and talk to somebody. Reach out to somebody you know. Let's organize a group and get together. with other people that you trust and speak your language. And then a safe place. It's what everybody needs. Just a safe place. And we can get you that place. There's lots of good people here in San Antonio.
Yeah, I've met a lot of them. You've taken me all over San Antonio meeting some really great people, and I just touched the surface. My job and my goal and my mission and my ministry is to share as many of these organizations. I'm going to a ranch for female veterans further on down in Texas, and I'm going to a lot of different organizations that help with a lot of different things. And so I don't want to, my message is get help. Your message is get help.
Just talk to somebody. Pick up that phone and talk to somebody. Somebody knows somebody that knows somebody else. And that's how it works. So, you know, get it off your chest. Talk to others. Ask for help. We can provide that for you. There's lots of treatment facilities, lots of veteran organization. I just talked to some American Legion riders this morning. They're a great bunch of people. The VFWs around here are amazing. All these guys, they just like a band of brothers, you know, and they help. If they don't know anybody, we find a resource. We will.
Yeah.
It's just an amazing community. So know that you're not alone, and there's others like you out there. So let's get together and save a lot of lives. I don't want nobody else to go through what our family went through.
We don't want to save, I say, even if I could just save one life, we want to save everyone's life.
Yes.
We want to take it down from 22 to 0. That's the name of my operation, 22 to 0.
Yes.
So God bless you. I
thank you for what you're doing. I applaud you for taking that time out of your life and dedicating it to our veterans and first responders. I applaud you, and I wish I could go on the road with you and change lives.
We would have so much fun.
Yes, we would.
It's kind of lonely out there by myself sometimes, but
you're making a difference, so know that.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for putting up with me and my dog. And
you're welcome. Anytime.
She invited me to, I was going to have her in the RV, and it's like 100 degrees in the RV, and I had the generator running.
I'm sweating now.
And I tried to be so polite and not ruin her house with my dog and stuff. I know. It's like, come in.
No, we're good. I'm so glad you came.
Me too.
And you're always welcome.
Thank you.
Everywhere we went to,
Careful what you say.
Anytime, baby. Anytime. I love you.
Love you too. All right, we're going to say goodbye. Smooch. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing. All right, guys. God bless.
Bye.
Please, please, please share these messages and these interviews. I'm not a professional, but it's so, so important. Thank you so much. God bless.
Bye.
Bye-bye.